Hello, everyone, and as always, welcome back to Strategy Gaming Dojo, where we're finding, learning, and turning the great strategy games. And today we jump right back into Gary Grigsby's War in the Pacific Admirals Edition, arguably the finest game ever made, not just war game. Hats off to Gary Grigsby. We are in December 26, 1941, turn 19. We are sort of looking at Hawaii. What's going on there? We're not centered. I sit ensconced in the Admiral's chair, ready to move all Allied forces to where they need to be. And this time, we are going to continue on. Now, I decided this time that I would take the time and we would just kind of go through here instead of trying to turn every 2 days, which is fine. We'll get back to that. I decided, hey, let's go and make sure everything is exactly where we want it to be. Let's hope that's true. Right? Now, Stanley has very rightly pointed out that we left some troops off of Akyab for nearly a week. Now, I don't think it was a full week, Stanley. I don't think it was a full week, but it was a few days. A few days. Now, we are going to get them off of that transport or their transport group. Let's go see where they are, actually. What am I doing? Get on the map, man. There we go. We had these transports here remaining on station in Akyab. Unfortunately, the troops can't get off there because it doesn't have a port. That was not set amphibious. There's questions that's been raised inside of command how that happened, but we're going to take that transport up to Chittagong, Bong Bong Chittagong, and we are going to let them off there, and then they'll have to march all the way back to Akyab. Now, if you want to hear some sailors, well, some troops, they're not sailors, but Tsar fly effect, hello. If you want to hear some troops complain, send them on a transport, have them sit outside of a town for 4 or 5 days, take them to another town, and then have them march back. And I'll tell you, you may have some morale problems. Luckily, our little pixel men are a little more forgiving than that. I would hate to see what would have happened if this really would have happened. Well, this kind of stuff happened in the war all the time, but it's still not ideal. Didn't hurt us. Didn't hurt us. The Japanese have not yet pushed hard for Rangoon. They're down here. They're down in Chumphon, Victoria Point. Tavoy, they're going to make their way back up to Tavoy. We're trying to get this base force, get out of there. Come on, guys, march faster. Your life is literally at stake. But if I'm a Japanese player, I'm going straight for Rangoon. I wouldn't even mess around with this stuff down here. There's no point. It's all a bunch of base forces. We will see them make their way towards Rangoon eventually. Now, we're not overstacking Rangoon. We could take these forces that are off Akyab going to Chittagong. We could stuff them into Rangoon. We've got reinforcements sitting over here at Colombo. We could send in. We're not going to do that because we're going to try not to break the AI. We will eventually lose Rangoon, and that's fine as long as it gets no further. I mean, once the Japanese are at Rangoon, they don't have a lot of great choices. This is not good terrain. There's not good roads. There's not good rail. They may be stopped in their tracks there. We shall see. Let's look at Rangoon again very quickly. It's just so important that you can't look at it enough times. We looked last time and we saw that the Flying Tigers are really getting whittled down. And if that's the Japanese plan, is just to knock out our air power before they proceed into Rangoon, it's not the worst plan in the world. We have units here, moderate strength. I mean, we've got a garrison of 530 or assault strength of 530 now. It's good. I mean, if you were playing another human and you really wanted to mess them up, get that up over 1,000 and see what happens. Real truth. What's going on? It's Obi. All right, or real truth. You can be either. That's fine with me. Um, but we're not getting those guys out of Victoria Point. They're not long for the game, unfortunately. They're trying, but these poor guys are out here. They think they've got a chance. Let me tell you that it would be one hell of a march The bards will sing songs of those men someday if they make it all the way up to Mole Mine. Also in Rangoon, we have this transport that is now damaged. We're going to try to get it out of here of Chittagong at full speed. We've got cargo ships that are unloading, but just barely. I mean, they don't have a whole lot left. Unfortunately, well, okay, I did take them out of dock. Okay, so they're ready to head back. I mean, this unit's only got, or this cargo ship has only got 2% capacity that's still in the hold. Everything else has unloaded. We're just going to take that straight back to Calcutta, get it out of here. It's not worth 2% if a couple of those transport ships get blown out of the water. So let's try to get out of there. We also have this really nice transport group that I really want to get out of here. The Dunera, the Dilwani, or no, that's the Dilwara and the Dunara. Easy for me to say. These are good ships. 18,000 in endurance, 18 speed, 4,200 on the capacity. We're going to try to get them back to Madras at full speed and probably not send them back. This cargo group is unloading. They're at 70%. They got quite a bit more supplies to go. We've done a great job of getting supply and fuel into Rangoon. You see 65,000 and 48,000 respectively. That's what you want to see. The Illinoisan. Wow, what a name. That's now unloading. It's still got a full cargo hold there that it's got to unload. And the Indonesian and the Montanian. Goodness. Just call it the AK Montana. I don't know what Montanian. What is it, like a cowboy? It's at 70%. Both of these are at 70%. They're on CS Rangoon, and that's fine because these ships, these are 5 or 6 point ships. That's okay. Anything less than 8, I have a tendency to care a little less about. We don't want to lose any, but you're going to lose some. If you're going to lose them, make sure they're not worth a lot of points. That's pro tip, as if you needed me to tell you that. The planes, we messed around with those last time. Everybody's where they're supposed to be on the ground. Let's look at Pegu one more time. Just make sure everybody's on combat. Everybody's on defend. That all looks good. They're all at the target. Okay, and so they're just setting up, getting ready for a Japanese onslaught eventually in 1942, it looks like. They've got 188 of assault strength here. It's kind of a blocking force. We've got 2 base forces here, so they are building the fortifications hopefully pretty quickly, or fairly quickly. Let's put it that way. They're almost to a level 2. We also have this Indian Mountain Gun Regiment, which has mountain guns, 16 of them to be exact. Hopefully those do some damage and we disrupt some Japanese troops. Down to Mole Mine we go. Now, Mole Mine, we've got a small little blocking force. Well, I say small, I mean it's 2 infantry brigades, but they add up to 142 in assault strength, so not nothing. Combat, defend, target, that's what you're looking for. That's how you set them up. That's how you do it in the big leagues. Okay, we talked about this last time, down into Malaya. We've got this unit that now appears to be slightly, not slightly trapped. How are you slightly trapped? That can't quite be the case. It is trapped, but we didn't have a whole lot in here anyway. This actually has a 62 assault value. Hmm, question whether the general should have gotten them out maybe a turn earlier. The Japanese are now here in this hex. If we click there, we are moving down this hex. Now we'll see what the AI wants to do. Is it going to come over here and try to block us from getting there? It's what they should do, probably. Sitting here in Temala. In Temala, we've got some nice anti-air guns. As a matter of fact, we've got 22, and if they're not damaged, 25 of these 40 millimeter Bofors. That's pretty nice. That's pretty nice AA right there. And then we've got a 19 assault value, but this is the big one from 3rd Indian Corps. The 22nd Indian Brigade has a 106 sitting there at Temala. We'll have to be careful because we may get in this same situation again. If they keep running down this way, we may have to just pull them back to Kuala Lumpur so they don't get surrounded. Now, we should have time because in Kuala, well, let's go back here for just a second, actually, to Temala. Make sure combat, yeah, We've got these two set for Singapore, including the big 22nd Indian Brigade, because that's eventually where they're going to end up. We don't really have enough time to switch them over to Temela now. And we didn't before. I mean, they just wouldn't have built fast enough. And so, fine. We're just going to have them set for Singapore, knowing eventually that will be their last stand, these guys in Temela. As a matter of fact, let's go back to this unit with 62. It's set for Kuala Lumpur. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. That's where we want to get it to. Let's hope it can make it. Speaking, the aforementioned Kuala Lumpur, home of very tall skyscrapers, the Petronas Towers, which I always love to look at in any pictures. Gosh, how many movies have been filmed at those places? What was that one movie where gosh, it's got to be like a Vin Diesel movie or something where they're doing like a high wire act walking across from one tower to the other. Or is that like a Mission Impossible maybe or something? I don't know. But I was like, nope, I don't like heights, right? I lived in Chicago forever. I never went to what used to be called the Sears Tower. And everybody knows it as the Sears. They've renamed it now. I don't know. They sold the naming rights. Um, my wife says Willis Tower is what it's called now. It's not quite as iconic as Willis Tower, but they have an observation deck up there, and I never went to it. It's just not my cup of tea. And then I guess somebody was up in that thing, and the glass. Now, of course, it's got like six heavy panes of glass, but the top one cracked. Can you imagine standing up there? You're on, I don't know. I think that's like the in that building like the 112th floor or something like that, and that thing starts to, like the glass cracks underneath. That's a thrill ride and a half. I don't like that kind of stuff. But yes, the Petronas Towers, I would like to see them someday. Kuala Lumpur has a lot of tall buildings. I'm not really, maybe it's just, usually it's because of the geography. They can't build out. Like I live near Los Angeles now, and obviously there's earthquakes, but also Los Angeles, you could expand forever. I mean, you've got the ocean, but on the eastern side, you can go forever. And if you fly into LA, it takes like 45 minutes to get across Los Angeles itself. It's just a megapolis. But in Chicago, they have the rivers, and so they had to build up. And that's why they're okay. What in the world am I talking about? Let's defend Kuala Lumpur, he says, as we talk about the geography. But for some reason, Kuala has tall buildings. I don't know why. Here we have the command of 3rd Indian Corps. Okay, we have some AA. This has got the 3.7-inch Mark IIs. That's a decent, that's a fun looking gun. Imagine shooting that up in the air sometime. We've got two base forces that are building here. We are already at a level 2 fortification, and we're on our way to a level 3. We're going to make a big stand here at Kuala Lumpur. There's not necessarily a great way for the Japanese to get down the peninsula without first having to get through Kuala Lumpur. Now, if they do get around us from Temela and get behind us, that could be a problem. But that takes a while. That takes a while. We'll see it coming and we'll get out of there. We could even rail a lot of these troops down to Singapore. So I'm not worried about getting surrounded there necessarily. We'll see. These are all on combat, defend at target. That's how we do her. Malacca. All right. Malacca has one unit of 28 strength. It's set for here. It's on combat, defend. Okay. Again, we should probably just set it for Singapore because that's where we're all headed eventually. Book your tickets. We will all be in Singapore in the next 2 or 3 weeks. Now we're in Mersing. Now, there was a lot of controversy about this Australian unit. I think Stanley almost quit the channel over this Australian group here because I didn't get them out. I didn't get the Aussies out. By the way, in Warplane Pacific, I was told don't call them Aussies, call them Aussies. Aussies. I did not know that before. I thought, for my entire life, I thought people have been saying Aussies, but evidently the land of Oz, the land down under, where they eat Vegemite sandwiches and men chunder, Evidently, that's Aussies with two Z's. Okay, I like it. That flows off the tongue easier anyway. The 22nd Australian Brigade is here at Mersing. Now, I originally moved them over to try to blunt any kind of Japanese landing here at Mersing. Now, me, as a Japanese player, when we eventually play this from the Japanese side, I will land at Kota Baru and I'll kind of do my thing up here, but we're going to land at Mersing and immediately put pressure on Singapore. So, anyway, I moved the Aussies up here to Mersing because they're a very nice unit. They're 94 assault strength. It's a good, well put together infantry brigade. It's not been needed. Nothing came here. We did send transports up to get the other Aussie brigade here out at Singapore. That transport group got smoked. And I said, no more, no more. And there was a lot of controversy here. I don't want to go back into those times. We've all moved on. Let's just keep moving on. So anyway, we have Australians down here, and some people have been not as happy about it, and I get that. Johor Bahru, we've got AA, we have got a base force here, not a whole lot. Sometimes people will stack up Johor Bahru and try to defend that fairly hard as well. We could do that. These Mersing guys will eventually fall back there before the Japanese make their way all the way down the peninsula. So we'll have quite a bit more. I say quite a bit. I mean, it's those two units, mainly the Australians, will be their combat defend at target and the base force we've got set for Singapore. But we wanted to continue to build fort levels. We're at 2, we're at 35% towards our 3. Okay. Now then, the big menu item here is Singapore. We have got a lot of planes up at Singapore. Uh, XTRG, hey, how's it going, my friend? How are you? Thanks for dropping by on this beautiful Sunday. Um, yeah, we could look at the road network. There you go. There you can see. I don't press this often enough. I should. I should. It does give you a lot of information. You can see the rail. You can see the roads, and right there is probably the path that they should go. Whether they do go is a whole nother matter. Um, yeah, I should look at this more. It does give you a lot of good information, obviously. You see the dark red there. That's the road. Yeah, I always forget. Um, but yeah, there's the road network in Malaya. Get that off there. That actually, now you've got me rethinking here about these guys or what I've got going on here at Temela. Hopefully, these units can get back here, especially the one that's got 60 assault strength, get back into Temela and do a blocking pattern. I hope this unit is actually coming down this way and doesn't jump across here or try to block here. Now, we can always rail these troops out down to Singapore. Assuming the Japanese don't cut the line, which means getting to this hex right here at Malacca. So if they get past us, we can wait until they get past us, maybe, or get to Kuala Lumpur. At that point, before they jump over here, we could rail them out. You've got a couple of days, right? You got to pack up. You got to get your stuff ready to move in strategic mode. I think it's generally two. I say 2 days. It could be 1 day or 2 days. Now you got me thinking. Okay. We'll come back to that in a future episode because I don't want to make the decision to get them out of there just yet. I want to hold there to bring these guys down. We'll see. We'll see. Okay, back into Singapore. Let's go look at all of these squadrons. We've got the torpedo bombers. I've been, contemplating. Goodbye, wife. Hey, oh, whoa! That's how you want to do it. That's how you want to do it. Got the wife coming in. See you. See you later. We're running a war here, darling. Anyway, back to Singapore. Whoa, I wasn't expecting that. I did get these out of here. See, I got all distracted. I did get those out of here, and the one that's damaged is just back, holding back. I think we took it down to Palembang as our first jump. Yep, there they are. So that one that's damaged, the game will automatically have it follow its squadron. So it will be following along behind. We have this Australian torpedo bomber. Let's get that out of here as well. There's just no reason to have it around here. Um, we could take it all the way to Oosthaven if we want to. Oosthaven does not have enough support for what we've got going on there now. Neither does Palembang, but we're just getting them out. It's going to be a one-turn thing. We may be taking operational loss, but okay, it's fine. I'm just going to take them to Oosthaven. What is that? One plane. Let's hope we don't take an operational loss, but off you go. Off you go. We do have these Buffalo fighters that are sitting here. Well, they're not sitting here. They're running cap. We've got 5 of them. They only have 8 fatigue, so that's fine. I've been running them on 60 cap, so I'm actually surprised the fatigue level isn't higher. These are Australians of the 223 group, which originally got stuck here. If you missed that episode, I say they got stuck here. We had to make a coin flip whether to get the 223 RAF group off or the 224 off. 224 won that coin flip, and they said goodbye to their mates, and off they went, and then their transport got sunk. So you think, man, I'm lucky. Oh no, did the stream go down? Gosh darn it. Dang it, Twitch. I bet you that was Twitch. It's always Twitch. It does not like these games. Twitch does not at all. Um, yes, so anyway, gosh, discombobulated. Anyway, the 223 had to stay behind, but that ended up saving their lives. So, question who was lucky, who was not lucky. In that one because my goodness, the 224 got off, thought that they had won the lottery, and ended up not surviving. Well, sort of surviving. They will be replaced. I think they fished. I think they fished them out of the water. We'll see. We'll see when we get down here. But yes, the 224 was hit. The transport was hit. Okay. So we've got these buffaloes up. We've got these buffaloes on cap 60. Their fatigue is also 8. Now there's only 2 left. 3 were damaged. This group, 11 are ready. We've got them on 60 cap. They're up to 10 fatigue. 5 in maintenance, 2 damaged, 11 in the air. Then we have buffaloes here. 9 serviceable, 3 maintenance, 2 damaged. Okay. So all of these running 60 cap. They've all got like a 10 fatigue or less. So, okay. We've got the Kiwis up here. They're part of the 223 group. They were running long range cap. Let's get that off there and let's have them run regular cap. Their fatigue is, they were running long range cap over that transport. It ended up the transport got hit by a submarine. So our long range cap didn't work. Didn't work. Um, okay. Oh, there we go. Yes, XTRG, that is correct. And XTRG, obviously a great expert of the game. I've watched his playthroughs many times, as should you. Go over to his channel and sign up. One of the people that really supports these Grigsby games, as well as anyone, and has for a while. A couple of your playthroughs, absolutely love. And you've been going at that for a while, which, if you're going to play through this game, you got to go for a while. We are December 26th and episode number 82. You know that well. I think that you're one you're playing from the Japanese, aren't you, on like 130, episode 130, something like that? Maybe even more at this point. Okay, so we've got these Buffalo ones, but they are Kiwi fighters. Okay, cool. Let's go look at our units. Combat, defend, at target. That's it. I mean, we're not moving any of these out. Here is where is that Australian brigade? It's on page 2. There we are, down there. There is the Australian brigade, and they have a combat strength or combat value of 103. Very nice, very good. These are good units, but we just really can't get them off. We can't. We tried to get up here with transports. I mean, I gave it my best, Stanley, but I couldn't get them out. So now they're here. Other people told me, that was priority number one, and they got their Aussies out. I did not. I did not. Now then, okay, we're through that. We still have these patrol planes here that I've been trying to get this unit. You got to fly this unit out, really, for the most part. Well, you don't have to, but I've been trying to fly it out. We did get a little bit of it out over here to Siberuet. Easy for me to say. I doubt that's how you pronounce it, but that's how I pronounce it. What I was going to do is take the planes over there, but now they're in maintenance and damaged. Once they get better, I made it sound like they've got the flu, but once they are repaired, we will take them over to the base there and, fly back and try to get this unit out. What is this unit's assault? It's like a 16, okay? It's not great, but that's fine. We need to get something over here. I followed Cole's spreadsheet this time, so I have not been moving any of these units to try not to do Fortress Palembang. Question how intelligent that is. I don't want to question my own intelligence, but we're trying to keep it, I guess, a little realistic. We don't want to break the AI with going Fortress Palembang. If you're playing another human, you're playing one of your buddies, and you want to, beat him, bring everything you can in Sumatra to Palembang. That is the way to go. But yeah, we've got base forces up here. We're not going to be doing pretty much anything with them. This one I am moving out, I believe. Where am I taking this? Hey, I said that. Now I'm taking him to Palembang. But he's got a 31 assault value. There's no reason in my mind to be guarding the western side this far north. These units can kind of block the Japanese from an easy jump of the Strait of Malacca. But once we get over here to the western side of the island, I don't. I guess I just don't see the utility of keeping anything here. Um, there's no rail running through here. There's just nothing out here. So I am going to bring that south. I don't feel too bad about that because I'm leaving all of these good units, especially the ones at Sabang, which are have something to them. I mean that's 107. It's not nothing, and but I'm going to leave them here. I'm going to play it that way. We shall see. There is Padang. All right. You were asking, I'm sure all of you were clamoring, what's going on in Padang? We've got a local mine sweep just in case because we've got the island out there as well. The Japanese could send, some kind of mine unit right up into this area. So we've got a local mine sweeper. We do have these 2 units here at Padang. Whoops. I don't think I'm moving them anywhere. No, I've got them sitting here, and I'll leave them sitting here. Out here on the island of Siberuet, I try to say that fast because I don't actually know how to pronounce it. Siberuet, yeah, you're like, man, he got it. He nailed it that time. We've got a base force there. Now we are trying to bring that force over there, so there is some infantry on that little island out there. We do have this infantry unit heading on its way to Jambi. Fun. That's a fun word to say. Jambi is right here, just north of Palembang. I don't know. Will the Japanese even mess around with that, or will they just hop straight down here? Probably come straight down here, but we are going to put a little blocking force there. Bencoolen. Okay, I should say that one faster as well. Bencoolen, there is an infantry unit here. It is a 39. Okay, and we have a base force, so we're building up the base. Again, this is on the western side of the island, but I don't feel as bad about protecting that the further south we go. The fortifications are at a level 1. Well, that base force must not have very many engineers in it because that is not building fast enough. Uh, uh, Oh, I'm reading XTRG's comments here. Trying to hold Sinquang, yeah, I find it almost impossible. I mean, you can run bombers out of, Palembang, or you can run them out of Singapore. Usually in a game, I just kind of seed northern Borneo. Uh, you know, it's not. This is a pretty nice strategic location, right? But ultimately, I put my effort into other places because it's so hard to try to hold all of these items on northern Borneo. I just kind of let it go. But yeah, if you were going to hold it, you can run bombers out of here. They've got range to get there, and you can try to run a lot of subs right here. Now, we've got American subs over here. We've got our Dutch subs up through in this way or this area that return to Batavia. You could stop them, I mean, you could put like a wolf pack out here of Dutch subs, which are a lot more effective, right? That's one way that you could try to fight off any transports coming through here. You can try to move all of your units here into Sinquang. That actually maybe isn't a bad idea, but it's hard. You can on turn one, you could send transports over and try to grab some of this stuff and bring it here and just defend the Dutch bases. Because right now, you've got a base force here, you've got a base force there. I think Kuching has an infantry. Nope, it's just got coastal, so I must have gotten that out earlier. The Dutch have This has got an AV of 33. Okay, that's not terrible. That's a little bit. Because the Japanese, well, here they are. They've landed at Miri. That's where they decided to go first. What do we have at Miri? It's just a base force. Brunei, base force. I mean, I guess you could pull some things out of Singapore and bring them to Sinquang, but you got to do it in like the first 3 or 4 turns if you're going to do something like that. Um, Jesselton, I actually have an amphibious. Oh, I've been sitting there waiting to pick up that. Well, I'm glad I came over here. Okay. We were going to make it there eventually. Did I want to get? I guess these right. Oh, that's what we were coming to get. The rifles of Canada. That came out of Hong Kong. They are sitting here. Let's just click on that. Let's go to strategic move. Can we get them on here? Let's dock, load troops. Not, oh, I've got to put them back in combat mode. Okay, yeah, it's amphibious here. Loading unit, verify it, accept it. Okay. Hey, we're getting the Rifles of Canada out of there. We will leave the base force. As soon as that loads, where do I want to take them? Where in the world do you take the Rifles of Canada? Um, Probably all the way down to Darwin, I guess. I could take them to like Port Moresby or something like that. I definitely don't want that uh, way to go. Let's use our waypoints. Now, the Japanese are very active around here now. They've taken Jalo, so we got to be careful. We do have that AVD with them, so they do have some anti-sub. We'll take it down there first. Let's see how this path looks. Okay, around this way. I think that's fine. We could just take him to Surabaya and then take him out the back door. But I think I'll just take him this way. That's fine. Hopefully, we've got the Rifles of Canada out of Jesselton. Luckily, the Japanese landed in Miri. Okay, next